It's strange how fast justice can come when you stop waiting for it and let nature take over. One night of rain, that's all it took for the creek to rise, for the wall to break, and for Karen Langford's pristine white Lexus to float away like a toy boat into the dark. When I saw it vanish under the bridge, I didn't cheer. I just whispered, "The land remembers." Because it does. It always does. My name's Ray Matt, and I've lived on this land all my life. 106 acres of pasture and cedar woods, same ground my father and his father worked before me. Out here, we don't have much, just dirt, sweat, and memory. And the heart of it all was Sutter's Creek. Cold water that cut through the pasture like a vein of silver. I learned to skip stones there when I was a boy. My daughter caught her first crawdad there when she was 7. Every morning I'd walk its edge with my old dog Jasper, listening to it talk in that quiet language only the land understands. But one morning it didn't sound right. The creek wasn't running, it was choking. I followed the sound up toward the property line, and that's when I saw it, a pile of cinder blocks and wet concrete stretching across the water like a bad scar. Someone had built a damn dam. And not just anyone. Karen Langford, the newly crowned vice president of the Silverwood Estates, HOA. Platinum hair, yoga pants 2 sizes too small, and a god complex the size of Texas. She'd moved in 3 years earlier and had been trying to beautify everything she could see ever since. Turns out that included my creek. At first I thought it was a mistake, some landscaper's screw-up. But when I saw the rebar, the concrete footing, no, this was deliberate. They were trying to reroute nature for aesthetics. I took pictures, wrote letters, even quoted Georgia water law like a damn paralegal. 3 days later, I got her reply. The HOA appreciates your concern. However, the creek runs through a designated easement. I stopped reading right there. Easement my ass. That creek sat squarely on my deed. I went down there the next morning, caught 2 men in neon vests pouring more concrete. "You got a permit for that?" I yelled. They said they were hired by the HOA, Ms. Langford's orders. That's when I realized I wasn't up against a neighbor, I was up against a machine. An HOA is like a miniature government run by people who failed at real power but still crave control. And Karen. She was their queen. When I confronted her, she smiled that fake HOA smile. "It's not your creek, Ray. It's an easement. You don't want to fight us, you won't win." I remember thinking, God, she actually believes that. But the thing is, when you threaten a man's land, you threaten his identity. My grandfather used to say, "You don't own land, you borrow it from your bloodline." So I called my old Army buddy Tom, now a property rights lawyer. He dug into the records, called me that night. "You're clean, Ray. No easement. They're bluffing." Then he added something that stuck with me. They get away with this because no one stops them. The rain came 2 days later. The dam held too well. Water started backing up into my lower field, drowning half my early crop. My boots sank in mud where carrots used to grow. Jasper refused to go near the creek. I felt something heavy settle in my chest. Rage, guilt, helplessness. I'd done everything right, followed the law, filed complaints. Still I was losing. That night, I sat in the kitchen with a bottle of whiskey, asking myself if it was worth it. I was one man with an old dog and a field of dying vegetables. The HOA had lawyers' money connections. Maybe I should just give up, sell the land, move somewhere quiet. But then my phone buzzed a call from my daughter Cassidy. She listened to the whole story quiet, the way she always is when she's thinking hard. Then she said, "Dad, you're not fighting for a field. You're fighting for the idea that land still means something." That was the moment the tide turned. With her help and Tom's, I documented everything: videos, drone shots, soil readings. Even the illegal stormwater pipe Karen had installed to dump runoff from her property straight into the blocked creek. When I sent the footage to the county, they opened an investigation. Karen didn't like that. The HOA hit me with a violation notice, accused me of flooding them. $1,000 fine for excessive runoff. I laughed so hard I nearly choked. But anger only gets you so far. You need proof. So I kept gathering it day after day until the file was thick enough to choke a printer. And then Mother Nature decided to weigh in. It started with that eerie stillness before a storm. Even the birds went quiet. By noon, the sky opened up like Judgment Day. Rain hammered the fields, the creek swelled, and water pressed hard against Karen's concrete wall. I watched from the porch, heart pounding. She'd turned a living creek into a prison, and now the prisoner was breaking out. The wall groaned, cracked, and then, boom! The whole damn thing gave way. A wall of water tore through her perfect lawn, ripped out her fake turf, swallowed her patio. Her white Lexus, parked downhill, started to lift, twist, and float. She ran outside, screaming barefoot, in a neon poncho, trying to fight the flood with her hands. I didn't move. Couldn't. I just watched as the water took everything she'd built on lies and vanity and swept it downstream. By dawn, the wall was gone. The creek flowed free again, wild, muddy, but alive. The county showed up, then the state inspectors. Karen tried to spin it, of course claimed it was storm damage. But I had the footage, the drone video, the time-stamped logs, the pipe, the collapse, all of it. And for once, people listened. The HOA turned on her fast. Neighbors started asking questions. Did Ray warn you? You lied about the permits, didn't you? Watching her crumble under their eyes was like watching a paper crown dissolve in the rain. The county report was brutal. Unauthorized alteration of a protected waterway. Violation of environmental code. HOA negligence. It was everything I'd been shouting for months now in black and white. But it wasn't over yet. Karen's lawyer sent me a cease and desist, accused me of malicious surveillance. Cassidy just laughed. They're scared, she said. Tom agreed. They know they're done, so we filed our own claim for damages and restoration. When the hearing finally came, I walked into that courthouse with mud on my boots and truth in my pocket. Karen sat across the aisle, hair pulled tight, eyes hollow. Her lawyer mumbled something about beautification and safety. The judge cut him off. Do you have a permit? He didn't. Then Cassidy stood up. She explained clear and calm how blocking riparian flow destroys soil, drowns crops, and destabilizes ecosystems. She ended by playing the flood video. No commentary, just the sound of rushing water and the sight of Karen's SUV vanishing beneath it. You could have heard a pin drop. When my turn came, I said what I needed to. I didn't come here to punish anyone. I came here to protect what's mine. I followed the rules. I warned them. They laughed. So the land answered for me. The judge ruled in my favor, full damages restoration of the creek and a state review of the HOA's actions. Karen flinched when she heard it. She didn't scream this time. She just sat there small and quiet as the weight of consequence finally settled on her shoulders. I walked out without looking back. They say justice moves slow, but sometimes it moves like water, quiet, patient, unstoppable. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. You can build walls. You can twist laws. You can hide behind titles and charters, but sooner or later the truth finds a crack. And when it does, it floods through.